You walk through the door after being gone all day. Your dog runs up, pale, going wild, and for a second, just a second, their eyes look glassy, wet, almost like they're about to cry. You blink, look again, and tell yourself it's nothing. A trick of the light, dust in the air. Dogs don't cry from emotion, everyone knows that. Most people assume a dog tears exist for one reason only: to clean the eye, to protect it from irritants, nothing more. But in 2022, a team of researchers in Japan ran an experiment that most dog owners have never heard of. And what they found changes how we understand the emotional life of dogs completely. Let's start with how you actually prove something like this. Because my dog looked a little teary isn't science. It's a feeling, and feelings don't hold up in a research paper. Researchers at Azabu University in Japan, the same institution behind some of the most important dog cognition research in the world, designed a study using something called the Schirmer tear test. It's the exact same method eye doctors use on humans. A small strip of specialized paper is placed just inside the lower eyelid for a few seconds, and the moisture that travels up that strip is measured in millimeters. No guessing, no interpretation, just a number. The team ran this test on 18 dogs across two scenarios. First, tear volume measured while each dog sat calmly at home with their owner. Then, tear volume measured again immediately after the owner returned from being away for several hours. As a control, they repeated the entire experiment, but this time with a familiar person who wasn't the dog's owner. Someone the dog knew well and liked, but wasn't bonded to in the same way. The results weren't subtle. When dogs reunited with their owner, tear volume increased significantly enough to register clearly on that paper strip in real time. When they reunited with a familiar non-owner, nothing happened. No spike, no measurable difference from baseline at all. This is the detail that should stop you. It wasn't about seeing any person they liked. It wasn't general excitement. It was specifically tied to reuniting with the one person that dog considers theirs. So what's actually happening inside the body when that moment occurs? The researchers already had a strong hunch because 7 years earlier, in 2015, a different team also working out of Azabu University published a landmark study in the journal Science, one of the most prestigious scientific journals on the planet. They measured oxytocin levels in 30 dog owner pairs during mutual eye contact and found something extraordinary. When a dog gazes at their owner and the owner gazes back, both experience a surge in oxytocin at the same moment across two entirely different species. Oxytocin, if you haven't heard the name, is the neurochemical your brain releases when you feel deeply bonded to someone. It's the same molecule that floods a mother's brain the first time she holds her newborn. The researchers tested this same gaze interaction with wolves raised by humans from birth. The loop didn't activate at all, not even close, which means this response appears to have co-evolved specifically between dogs and humans over thousands of years of living side by side. So for the 2022 TEAR study, the team pushed one step further. They applied an oxytocin solution directly to the surface of dogs' eyes. No reunion involved, no owner walking through a door. Just the hormone itself introduced artificially, and tear volume increased on its own. Which means oxytocin isn't simply present during these reunion tears, it's capable of directly causing them. Put both studies together, and a clear picture forms. Your dog sees you after time apart, their brain releases oxytocin, and that oxytocin acts on the lacrimal glands, the tear-producing glands around the eye, increasing fluid output. The same biological pathway, partly responsible for human emotional tears, is active in some form inside your dog. Every time you walk through that door, this is the first time this kind of emotionally triggered tear response has ever been documented in a non-human animal. Here's where it stops being just about hormones and starts being about evolution. Dogs split from wolves somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, and somewhere in that stretch of time, something changed physically around their eyes. Researchers studying canine facial anatomy discovered that dogs, unlike wolves, have a well-developed muscle around the eye that allows them to raise their inner eyebrows. It's the exact muscle responsible for that classic pleading, soulful expression people call puppy dog eyes. Wolves simply don't have this muscle developed to the same degree. It appears to be something that evolved specifically in dogs alongside their long cohabitation with humans. A 2019 study found that dogs who use this expression more often were rated by human observers as more appealing and were adopted out of shelters faster than dogs who didn't. In other words, dogs capable of visually communicating something closer to emotion receive more attention, more care, and more chances at survival, generation after generation. Tears may work through the exact same mechanism. In the same 2022 study, researchers showed human participants a set of dog photos, some with the dog's natural eyes, some digitally altered to include artificial tears, and asked them to rate their impression of each image. The photos with tears were consistently rated more favorably. People reported a stronger instinct to comfort, protect, and care for the dog whose eyes appeared glossy and tearful. This isn't some leftover biological accident. It may be something quietly reinforced by evolution for thousands of years. Because dogs whose eyes triggered a caregiving response in humans were the dogs who got fed, sheltered, and kept close, while the ones who couldn't communicate that way didn't survive as consistently. So the next time you come home and your dog's eyes look a little brighter, a little glassier than usual, you don't need to dismiss it as nothing. This isn't the same thing as human crying, and researchers are careful about that distinction. It's not proof of grief or sadness or the full emotional complexity a human experiences during a cry. It's tied to one specific hormone, responding to one specific trigger, reunion with a bonded person. But it is proof that something real is happening inside your dog in that moment. Their body is responding the exact way any bonded attached creature responds to reunion, with a genuine physiological shift that becomes visible right there on their face. It also explains something a lot of owners have noticed but never had language for: why a dog's expression during a reunion feels different from their excitement over food or a walk or a favorite toy. Food excitement is one kind of arousal. This is a different kind entirely. This one is attachment specific. It shows up only for you and no one else. And this isn't a one-way street. Remember, oxytocin doesn't just rise in your dog when they see you. It rises in you too. The same 2015 Azabu University study found that when owners looked into their dog's eyes, their own oxytocin levels climbed in almost the exact same pattern researchers see in a parent looking at their child. Your nervous system doesn't fully distinguish between the two kinds of love in that moment. It responds in a remarkably similar way to both. So when your dog's eyes well up at the door, your brain is very likely responding to that signal too, even if you never consciously notice it happening. That warm, settled feeling in your chest when your dog greets you isn't just affection in the abstract sense. It's a measurable hormonal event happening inside your own body, triggered in part by the very tears you almost dismissed as nothing. Now, before this goes too far in the other direction, one thing needs to be said clearly. If your dog's eyes are watery constantly, not just during reunions, that's not this. Ongoing discharge, redness, or excessive tearing usually points to something else entirely. Allergies, a blocked tear duct, or an eye infection. And none of that has anything to do with oxytocin. The emotional tear response documented in this study was a brief, reunion-specific spike, not a constant state. If your dog's eyes look off outside of that specific context, that's a conversation for your vet, not a reason to feel something poetic is happening. Step back and look at everything together, and a much bigger story starts to form. Your dog's face physically evolved across thousands of years to appear more emotionally expressive to human eyes. Their brain releases oxytocin specifically when reunited with their bonded person, not just any familiar face. They recognize that oxytocin entirely on its own is enough to trigger measurable tear production. And humans, in turn, are neurologically wired to respond to those glossy, tearful eyes with a stronger instinct to nurture and protect. It's a closed loop, thousands of years in the making, built entirely to keep dogs and humans emotionally locked onto each other. The eyebrow muscle, the oxytocin surge, the tears themselves, and your own caregiving response, all of it evolved together, reinforcing the same outcome generation after generation. Dogs and humans staying close. So the next time your dog's eyes look glassy the second you walk through the door, you're not imagining it, and you're not projecting emotion onto an animal incapable of feeling it. You're watching real biology. Thousands of years of coevolution and a hormone shared between two species playing out quietly on your dog's face. It might be one of the most remarkable things happening in your living room every single day, and most people will spend their entire lives with a dog and never once realize it's there. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to this channel and drop a comment below. Have your dog's eyes ever look glassy the moment you walk through the door? I want to hear about it. And if you want to understand what's actually happening in your dog's brain in the seconds before they fall asleep against you, that's the next video, and the science behind it might surprise you even more.